Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another episode of I Don't Mean to Be a Jerk, but the leadership podcast where we call ourselves out with love so we don't become the kind of leaders people vent over drinks about. I'm your host, Layli Sadagyani, your leadership addict. I am a leadership coach, change strategist, and a proud nerd of organizational behavior. And yes, someone who's had to learn in real time how to manage my own ego. Spoiler alert, it's an ongoing process. Today, we're getting into it. Our week is all about knowing yourself, specifically understanding your ego, how it shows up, and why self-awareness is non-negotiable if you want to lead with authenticity. Now, I know ego gets tossed around a lot, and I've shared this in the last episode. It's become a dirty word in leadership circles. But let me tell you, ego is not the villain here. It's when we ignore it, when we deny it, or let it run the show. That's when things get really messy. So let's start with the basics. Ego is part of human being. It's a piece of you that mediates between your higher ideals, your morals, your values, and those lovely little impulses like defensiveness, pride, or our need to look good in front of our boss. A healthy ego, as Hedgepeth, who is a researcher, puts it, is actually super useful. It helps you navigate a complex decision. It keeps you grounded. It's like our internal GPS that's saying, hey, let's stay true to what matters the most. But when we stop checking in with ourselves, when success starts inflating that ego bubble, that's when we slide into unhealthy ego territory. And then welcome to the neighborhood of distorted reality, our poor communication, and what I lovingly call accidental jerk leadership. And here's the thing, we've all been there. You get feedback you don't like. Maybe you flinch, you get defensive, you explain yourself a little too much, or you catch yourself really wanting credit for an idea, even though it was actually a team effort. That's the ego waving, hello. It's me, I'm the problem. And listen, the problem isn't that it shows up, because it's going to show up. The problem is when we don't see it at all. Here's a little exercise I love introducing. It's called the Johari window. It's a simple tool, but man, it's humbling. So I want you to imagine a window with 4 panes. What you know about yourself, what others know about you, what's hidden from others, and the trickiest one, what's hidden from both you and them. That last one, that's where ego likes to hang out. We all have blind spots, but leaders who fail to see theirs, they're the ones who wake up one day wondering why their team is disengaged, why no one brings them bad news, why innovation has dried up. Spoiler, right? It's because their ego built walls instead of windows. And here's the good news. Those blind spots shrink when we invite feedback. When we stay curious about how we're perceived, and when we practice what I call leadership with a mirror. And I don't mean staring at yourself in the mirror saying affirmations like you're on a TED Talk. I mean reflecting after meetings, after conflicts, even after you are successful in something. And you ask yourself, did I show up as the leader I want to be? Where did my ego get loud today? Now, here's a juicy one. A lot of folks ask me this. Hey, Layli, don't you need a big ego to be a strong leader? Isn't that the requirement for a leader? And I get this a lot because we equate ego with power, with decisiveness, with charisma. But let me give it to you straight. Confidence is quiet. Ego is loud. Confidence says, I know my worth, but I'm open to learning. Ego screams, I'm right, period, done. One of them builds trust, and the other one, you can guess it, it builds resentment. And let's be honest, we all have moments where the line gets blurry, right? For me, it's when I'm leading a high-stake project, for example, and my inner perfectionist usually decides no one can do it as well as I can. And usually, I've learned from other leaders, the perfectionist side comes about pretty quickly. That's not confidence. That's ego in disguise. And when I catch it, what I have to do for myself is pause, take a breath, and delegate the work anyways, because trusting my team is leadership. Controlling everything, that's fear, wearing the ego mask. Let me share real experience with you. When I first became a leader, I did this thing where I started to journal my everyday leadership life. And the reason why I'm laughing is I noticed the ego coming in quite a bit. So for a week, I tracked moments where the ego got triggered. Little things, right? Like interrupting someone to finish a sentence because I thought I knew where they were going. I wasn't really listening. Or feeling this little bit of jealousy when a colleague got praised for something that I had also contributed to, and having this fight with myself, really, to say, wow, I actually contributed to that too. I actually helped with that too. None of these moments made me a bad leader, right? But here's the thing. If it's unchecked, that's how good intentions turn into bad habits. This is what I mean. At the end of that week, I saw patterns. Feedback that hit on my not enough fear. That's something I've struggled with for most of my life. I am an immigrant. I moved here at the age of 10. And when I moved here, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. And it was always this fear of, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. So sadly, your weaknesses in leadership show, right? And this was my weakness. I am not enough. So I kept looking for credit-seeking opportunities where I felt overlooked. Seeing those triggers laid out in a journal, rereading it, by the way, is really painful for me because you're reliving the situation. But what it did, it really helped me see the pattern. And once you know the plays, you can choose to call a timeout instead of running them on autopilot. By now, you may be wondering, hey, Laylee, there are 1,000 leadership podcasts talking about self-awareness and ego. Why should I keep listening to you? And here's why. I'm not here to preach you from a pedestal. I'm walking this journey with you. Yes, I am a coach. Yes, I am a consultant. I am a person. I've sat in rooms with hubristic executives who couldn't see how much damage they were doing. I have also caught myself egotistically saying things where I realized the underlayer of that was I'm not enough. I don't want you to be the leader people survive. I've seen what happens when leaders choose humility. I want you to be the leader people thrive under. That starts not with charisma, not with titles, but with the quiet, consistent work of knowing yourself. Here's my challenge for you this week. Start a journal if you haven't for your work. And for the next 7 days, catch yourself in those tiny moments. When did you get defensive? When you feel the itch to grab credit, did you do it? When admitting a mistake feels like swallowing a glass, what'd you do? Write them down, reflect, and then most importantly, choose differently the next round. Because leadership isn't about never messing up. It's about how fast you notice when you do and how gracefully you course correct. Remember, self-awareness is the gateway to authenticity. It's what keeps ego in check and connection intact. So the next time you catch yourself and you're about to say, I don't mean to be a jerk, but take a pause, reflect, and choose humility. That's the kind of leader you're becoming. Thanks for hanging out with me today on I Don't Mean to Be a Jerk, but in our second episode. If this episode hit home, do me a favor, share it with someone who's serious about growing as a leader, or maybe just growing up in general. I'll let you be the judge of that. And if you're feeling brave, please feel free. I am on LinkedIn, Layli Saragiani. Tag me on LinkedIn with one ego trigger you noticed this week. We are in this together. I also offer coaching packages. So if you are looking for a coach, I am here for it. You can find more information on www.invivoleadershipstrategies.com. I am also on Instagram, Invivo Leadership Strategies. Until next time, lead from the inside out. This is your leadership addict, Layli Saragiani with Invivo Leadership Strategies. Bye, everybody.